had been going. I've got a vision for an ecological community or a group of ecological communities set up across the country, possibly the world. Also, the idea of network of farmers that can provide local produce.
So specifically, though,
What I'm discovering...
I'm trying to help you. I'm not trying to hurt you.
What I'm discovering is that all our lives we've thought outside the box. And what I hear you saying is think outside the box. Take the ideas that we've heard and look for other people who are doing those same things. And it covers a whole gamut of different things. Our life has been a variety of different connections with different ideas that are different than the mainstream.
I like that.
And being able to take those ideas and network them together and then be able to have a way of processing those ideas to a variety of different people. They can pick and choose their ideas. You know, they don't have to be interested in every one of the things that we have an opportunity to introduce, but be able to network with other people who have alternative ideas. Talking to Kim about her she's not here, the prepaid legal that she has. I heard somebody mention alternative health care, wellness care. You know, there's so many different ideas out there, and a way to connect them and provide links to those things and books and materials.
Good. So what do you think the lesson for everybody in what you're seeing, saying, and going to do is?
Well, the biggest one, again, for me, is the continuation of think outside the box.
Okay. Can I challenge that and give you the mirror image? Think inside somebody else's box for things they don't see. Now,
right.
the key to this, in my opinion, for most of you at this juncture, is to not put the burden on your creative mind to do it without support and reinforcement. Create for yourself some paper and ink or computer templates so you can help yourself do inventories and assessments and looking at things, because I've been doing this for 25 years. I've done 12,000 companies. I've done 450 industries. I have a mind that is wired, my wife and family don't always like it because it's in the ozone, but I can look at something from so many vantage points and CAT scan perspectives. But most people get excited when they're introduced to my mindset and my methods, and then they go and they try to not really squint, but divine it all themselves. I think that's very hard.
Right.
I think it's a piece of cake if you guys create some templates and say, what are the resources? What are the assets? What are the relationships? What are their back ends? What are they doing with this and that? What can I bring to them? Now you got a simple, and after you do it 100 times, or 1,000 times, then your mind will have a discipline and a learning curve where it'll have like mental muscle memory. But I wouldn't suggest that you all try to be Jay Abraham right out of the gate, because I think it's going to be flawed. I think it's going to be frustrating, and I think it's going to be 100 times harder than you have to make it. Okay? Thank you. Give me another one, Philip. We'll do you next. Up.
I'm Joyce Schaefer, and one of the things that I realized is that it's not enough for the headline be a real grabber, but it also has to include the killer benefit
To
the consumer, to the client.
To the intended
To
prospect and no one else.
And no one else, right.
Because the rest of the people don't care. And let me keep them a point. I don't know if Steve said this yesterday or not. You love whatever you do. It's your passion. It's your hope. It's your life. Everyone else is bombarded with 5,000 or 10,000 distractions, interruptions, advertisements, spam email every day. If they have to think one iota about what in the heck is that saying, what do they mean? When I was reading some of your letters and all, I thought, what is it? What are they saying? Who's it for? What is the product or service? Who is the market? I'm working hard because I'm here to help you. your target market, if he or she doesn't get it, is not going to give you the time of the day.
Right.
They won't. They don't have any interest in that. You got to grab them. You got to demonstrate. There's a formula. Steve may have given it to you. There's a process. And Bob, you would do them all a great service having, and I don't really do good advertising instruction because it's been so long since I was at the granular level. But you got to have somebody teach them and then make them do things and then do some copy clinics, because headline, God bless everything, is 80 or 90% of the you'll get their attention. But if you lose the you attitude, if you don't dimensionalize, if you don't have a conversation with them, if you don't preempt and think about the negatives or the issues, if you don't take them to action, if you don't relieve the risk, if you don't future pace them and take them into the future and show them what life's going to be like once, if, and after they have your product or service working, it's like you brought them to the 10-yard line and you dropped the ball. And I don't think you can really get to that here, but I think it'd be a very worthwhile thing to do. So what do you think the lesson for everybody here is?
That you have to really look closely at what it is you're doing and not just be in love with it, but to understand, as you would use the words a while ago, get into the box of the audience that you're wanting to
Getting
deal
outside
with,
and inside. Good.
And what do they want?
That's good. That's good. This is good. I'm enjoying this. I'm liking what I'm hearing, and I'm really liking the connections we're making by refining and defining it. Let's do a couple more, Philip. Is Philip here? Would you just pass it around, and we'll do it.
Hi, my name is Rhonda, and it's wonderful that Joyce went before me, because what my aha was that I have an internet business, and you know when people leave your sales copy, and there's, I thought to myself, well, why are they leaving? And then the relationship building, if I can give them a benefit to reason. So if they have not bought my product, I thought then I can provide a report to help them want to buy my product. Maybe I should explain what my product is.
What is it?
It's a visualization tool. They can make a recording program. They can make their own CD of their own vision.
So you can take a vision for anything?
You write your vision out. You write
For what, though?
whatever they want in their life. A visualization.
So, okay, but so I'm going to help you. This will be good for you. You're saying...
My target audience are people who know what visualizations are. I'm marketing to...
So only the people that know that?
Yes. I'm
okay.
I'm
so if they already know that, you're saying, you know what it is, I can make it a lot easier than anybody else. I got a tool that'll shorten the timeline, tangibilize or make clear.
Well, you can make your own CD so you can listen to it while waking up, going to bed, etc. So
that is interesting. Okay, and they'll already know that.
They already know that. My
Okay,
target
good.
market are people who
Got
are
it,
authors, etc.,
got it.
coaches,
Okay,
etc.
so it's an inside type product where it's a very...
It's kind of the end product of a whole bunch of, and I was confused and going, okay, what's my end product? Well, my product is an end product, but then I just created another product out of it, because if they're not buying the product, then maybe they're not ready with their visualization. So why not provide them a tool? So serve them and help them. Top 10 things you need to have in your visualization. Yeah. Or even better, I thought, how about I send them to one of my joint ventures or affiliates to learn how to write better or whatever. Give them more of a service.
We've had a number of our partners create lesser introductory products, and if they didn't have it, acquire somebody else's, and even make a deal where they weren't an affiliate, they actually just used their website, but they actually had their own. And they used that to get more people into the process. But I think you're thinking right, but now take what you think you're thinking and translate it, visualize and translate it for everybody else. What do you think the lesson here is?
Taking a perceived negative situation and turning it into a positive situation and building a relationship with them. Okay. And so giving them a benefit to, it's okay, they don't want my product. Well, I'll give you even more of a benefit and helping them out.
Good. And keep in mind this. People that aren't quite or aren't even close to being there yet, will be there someday. So one of the things that I think a lot of people miss out on, and there's nothing wrong with having a business that exploits, and exploit is not necessarily a negative word if you look up the definition, opportunistically the moment, but because you're understanding the Power Parthenon approach, it's pretty cool if you also have a migration or gestation program that's bringing people along progressively on the progress too. And they don't have to be exclusive. You can have both of those running a parallel bent, and they all can converge together at a certain point.
I have 2 different websites, one for the people who know how to visualize and the other one to help them
Exactly.
learn how to visualize.
And-
I can send them over to that one.
Exactly. And I mean, keep in mind, one of the things in the strategy of preeminence is to establish yourself as their most trusted advisor. I apologize, I always favor the right side, and it's not intentionally. But when doing that, it's like me. I know, and I believe in my heart of hearts, that I have your best interest totally at heart, but that I know probably more of what you need than you do. And my job is to, first of all, verbalize what you need so you go, aha, he's right. And second, lead you down the path. And third, not walk away and have you had a good feeling, but make damn certain you really got something out of it and you know what you're going to do. And fourth, help everybody see that what you're going to do is not what you're going to do, but by expanding your sense of other people's interpretive possibility, it'll broaden your own. But what you're saying is good. That's good. I like that. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll bring it over here after this woman. This is interesting, isn't it? It's a powerful process.
Hi.
And I don't have to say anything else. It's good. Hi.
I'm C. Diane Howell. And
Hold it like this, please, at an angle. Yeah.
I'm C. Diane Howell, and the business I talked about a couple of days ago had to do with fundraising. But today I would like to speak about the business I do day to day because that's what one of
Okay.
the things that's hit me.
What is it?
I publish a newspaper, and
Okay.
I also produce the largest event in the African American community in the Bay Area.
Really, what is it?
It's called the Black Expo. And well, 2 things I want to say. Number one, I don't visualize very much. So when I do see a vision, it's meaningful. I feel like we're all on Star Trek. And you know those futuristic guys or ladies with the huge heads? I feel like my head is expanding and there's this brain expansion going on, and it's a good thing, you know? And I just want you to know how I appreciate this, and I've actually seen you before, and I have your book, and I mean, every time I see your name, I do it, and I'm working up to $5,000. But it's just, but it's. I feel like when I was skiing, and I would tell my body to do this, but it wouldn't, and I would tell my body to do that, and it wouldn't. So each time I see you and do this stuff, it gets better. One of the real valuable things I've heard, and I reiterate all the things that people have said before, but I wanted to say something a little different. I realize how much money I've been leaving on the table. I have a tremendous, tremendous network. I have a website, but I don't capture the people like I should. I have a sense that there's all this money. And I've gotten a sense of contacts and multiple sources, and I'm just saying this because I think that any of us who are not, it's almost like you have to have an email and a fax line and a phone. You also have to have a website where you can capture information about the people you're contacting, because otherwise it's tremendous money that we're leaving on the table. And you just helped me see that I have this huge, because I'm already a trusted advisor to a lot of people, but I couldn't tell you who they all are because I haven't captured that information.
And that's great. I think that's profound. I was just thinking about something. I'm losing my voice. And we used to be in the event business, not seminars, but expos. And I don't have time to get into barter, but I've done hundreds of millions of dollars of barter. And if you don't sell out your expo, every booth is a commodity of exchange. Mm-hmm. We used to trade 50, I'd trade $100,000 worth of perceived value. Mm-hmm. I'd put valuation on all kinds of intangibles. We would get commodities and services we either needed, or if we didn't need it, we'd turn it into a profit center by like trading it for something worth $1, selling it for 50 cents to somebody else. The incremental cost of what we traded, the booth or the list, was like 10 cents, and we'd make 500% on our money. So you have another exchange commodity there too you're probably not thinking about.
I actually trade already, but what you're taking it is to
It's
the
a profit
exponential
center.
level.
I'm talking to a profit
As
center.
a profit center.
Not
because
just as a...
I have sponsors,
Yeah.
and I get money from those sponsors. But now I'm like, okay, now...
Yeah, that's
okay,
good. You're going to do a lot with this.
I'm like,
That's good. I like that. That's good, and that's a good lesson. What do you think? What do you want everybody to get? What make sure though? that everybody gets what you said.
Can you hold that thought for just a moment? Another one of our stars is leaving, catching a plane. David White has worked so hard. Would you give him a hand? So hold that thought, Jay. I'll be right here. How many of you got your websites up and running?
It's you guys. It's not me, it's you.
I think I got to sit down with each and every one of you. And it truly has been a pleasure. I know that this was something that we did unscripted, Bob, and it was untried and untrue, but I think from everybody's point of view, at least mine, it was a humongous success, okay? It's all about you, and it's about doing it, and each and every one of you stepped up to the plate and did it. It's been a pleasure working with you all. I hope to hear and see from you all again. And just, if 2 seconds, Bob. You did the invocation Wednesday when we came here. And bear with me just a minute. 3 weeks ago, I lost my great-grandniece, who was 3 years old. But what you said Wednesday just hit home for me, and I thank you for that. Do something with your life. There is a higher power. Thank you.
David White, everybody. He's catching a plane. See you, my friend. Bye-bye. Thank you, David. And we will have some results. He won't be able to see all the results, but we'll get him a copy of what, as you come across the stage later on today. Now, take a deep breath and pretend that didn't happen. Jay, back on stage.
Is it on?
New, and along with my partner Kathleen, we run a consulting business called Clarity Works, and we also do a lot of public speaking. And my big aha was that a book we've created called Looking for the Good Stuff, we thought was a back-of-the-room product to augment the speaking business, and just perhaps that it may hit it big and become a stream of income. I realized this week that it is a lead generator. And it is a huge lead generator for that consulting business, because it is directly the subject matter of the book is directly related to the process we use. So I'm going to be able to. I guess I just didn't realize how the back end deal worked and the lifetime value of a customer, and
That's good.
That was just a huge aha for me.
That's great. Thank you. Got a couple more? Oh, okay. Hi.
Carla Dadoff, and I have a product called Clean Cat, which is a cat box that will never ever smell again. And we've beta tested it. We've had it at the patent office for 22 months, and we're ready to roll, but we've been looking for investors. And what you did for me today is to think about the folks that are already in a similar business, in the cat business. Because this cat box, it doesn't matter whether you have the cheap cat litter or the fancy cat litter. And we didn't want to alienate any of those companies, thinking, because we didn't want to alienate them. But why not go to those companies, one of those companies at least, that make that cheap cat litter, and see if they don't want to help us produce these cat boxes so they can sell a lot more cheap cat litter.
Great. It's a great insight.
So,
and that's great. Let me interpret, because that's a powerful realization. There's always somebody else who needs you to be successful at what you do. Worse than you. You just got to take a deep breath. Don't try to divine it, but analyze it, number one. Number two, you might have to put it together for them. Number 3, don't expect them to always embrace it the first time. Number 4, you might have to go to the next one on the line. Number 5 is everyone is hurting in a different way. You might be hurting trying to make your mortgage, but the number 4, cheap litter company might be losing market share massively to the big one, and by them giving free forever this litter box, as long as you send them, 25 and 25, proof of purchases, and showing them you're going to spend $7, but you're going to get, people locked into yours, and you having the ability to show it, and then reducing it down and saying, let's beta test it and see. That's a very powerful insight. Always somebody that needs it more than you. Always somebody whose main product is dying. And even sometimes you might be better off, selling it or giving somebody the right to buy it or a portion of it if it does well in proportion to the amount of revenue, volume, sales, or worth their assistance, collaboration, endorsement, recommendation makes you. So there's a lot of ways to do this. The good news is also the bad. It's infinite. And I tell people, don't get hung up with the infinity of possibilities. Just start somewhere and work through it. But that's a profound insight. Anybody else? Go ahead.
All right. Your name? My name is Brad Dugdale, and I learned joint ventures using the power of endorsement, control products for a lifetime of residual income, go for the big order because it takes the same amount of effort. We learned that from Pat the other night. And take your clients through a life cycle.
Now, I'm going to give you one qualification. The big order is true, but there could be a sequence because everybody isn't ready to jump in full force. It's like, you can't, well, I guess you could take someone to bed, but you probably first have to take them and, wine them and dine them. And there are probably some you can do that, but there's a process. Excuse my vulgarity. Shows you my carnal lust. But there is a process. I would just amend and say, have your strategy go for the biggest sustaining payoff you can get by implementing the most viable successive or progressive strategy you need to. I'm not being very clear, but don't get yourself confused and think, because I'll give you a great story, which is a good conclusion, but it's a good point. I had 2 friends that were very good copywriters, and one was opportunistic and one was strategic. And I tell a story a lot, so some of you who have ever listened to my stuff might have heard it. Both of them wanted to be in the business of selling simulated diamonds, cubic zirconium. And the one that was a far better copywriter was very short-sighted. He ran an ad in the Los Angeles Times, full page, cost him about $40,000, and he called his business the Beverly Hills Diamond Company, and he coined a proprietary name to his little stone and called it the Beverly Hills Diamond. It was $39 for a carat, and he ran his ad, and it cost him $40,000, and it brought in about $50,000, and after all expenses, he made about $3,000, and he was bummed, and he threw in the towel and left. Friend 2 was somebody that I'd learned from and I taught. We were like mutual mentors. He was totally strategic. He was not as good a copywriter, but he understood what I'm trying to say to you. He sat down and modeled, didn't plagiarize, modeled the strategy, the tactic, not the strategy, the tactic of friend 1, and created his company. He called it Van Pliss and Tissany, which was a hilarious play on Van Cleef and Arpels and Tiffany's. And he created the Van Pliss Diamond, and he sold his for $39, and he bought a $40,000 ad. And when his ad ran, instead of bringing 50 like my more talented copywriter friend 1, friend 2's brought in about 40. He actually lost some money. But instead of saying, damn, when he sent out his loose stone. There were 2 other items accompanying it. One was a letter, and the letter came from him. He was the president, and it said, I want to thank you and congratulate you for buying your Van Pliss diamond. And as you open it, a couple of things are going to be evident. Number one, it's even more fiery and brilliant and stunning and spectacular than we could even describe in our copy. And it's smaller. It's not smaller because we took advantage of it. It's smaller because the density of our diamond is more than a regular diamond. It's got more brilliance, more spectacle. When most people see how magnificent and majestic these are, they're eager to get larger stones, and then they're eager to get them set. But unfortunately, if they take a larger stone to their local jeweler, they'll charge them an arm and a leg, and we don't want that to happen. So we have a standing policy that anybody that comes to us and buys an introductory 1 carat can trade it in for double its value for any 5, 10, 20 carat stone or grouping of stone, and we've already taken the liberty of setting them in beautiful 18, 14, 22 carat bracelets, necklaces, earrings, and the catalog is enclosed. And because we don't want you to ever have any doubt, we ask you, first of all, to go to your jeweler and ask them what they charge to set 2 carats or 5 carats or 20 carats. Get a price, and then look at what ours cost preset. And when they come, go back and check it out. If it's not double the value, we'll give you your money back. And he did $25 million of profit in the first 18 months. So you might want to get there a little slower, but so I just want to amend what you said. Good. One more, and then, yes, Bob?
Ahead, so one
I
more.
gotta leave.
One more.
Yeah, this is it. And then I got a summary comment that'll take a minute.
My name is V. Comstock, and I teach redirecting children's behavior.
Okay.
And I just realized from what you taught me that I can connect all the people that influence children and connect them with the products that help them influence the children to self-motivate and recognize their value a lot quicker than me going group at a time.
What's the lesson to everybody else?
Lesson to everyone else is that instead of going at a slow pace, that I can connect by going to Google or wherever the search engine takes me. I can connect a whole bunch of people that are already looking for the how do I say it? Like-minded people
Good.
with the products
Great.
that will help them do what they're already trying to do.
Great, thank you. Okay, I'm done with one exception. I want to summarize with a story, or actually just a restatement of somebody else's story. Somebody that I know has a really cool saying. He says that most people in life struggle silently, tormenting themselves with the wrong question. The question that they struggle with is, am I worthy of this goal? Can I really make my product successful? Can I really make enough money in this business endeavor or in any business endeavor to have the independence, the lifestyle, the house, the car, the whatever, the freedom, the retirement? Absolute wrong question to ask. The right question is this: is the goal worthy of me? Because when you realize how much higher